Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. My name's Bobby, and this is how I grow orchids and carnivorous plants. Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. Today's video is another Care Collab video. This time the topic is Brassavola subulifolia or Brassavola cordata. Brassavola subulifolia is a Jamaican species. It's a medium-sized, hot-to-warm growing epiphyte with terete or green bean leaves. They're very fleshy, they're semi-cylindrical, they are channeled, they bloom in the late summer or fall on a branched up to 6-inch long inflorescence. They can carry up to 6 long-lived flowers, and they do have a great fragrance at night. Orchid species says citrus. I disagree. I think it's more floral, but it's a sweet floral aroma. It's very, very nice. It is grown best mounted. It likes some shade and heavy watering while in growth and lessened watering after they have matured and the plant has flowered. So in the cool season, drier. As I mentioned before, this is also known as Brassavola cordata. It's a very common name for it as well. Its accepted or correct name now is subulifolia, but that is that. There's some interesting deliberation about this plant as far as the varieties go. I guess on orchid species it says the Western Jamaican varieties have larger flowers and they're larger in number per inflorescence, and their leaves are about 12 inches long. The Eastern Jamaican variety have flowers that are less than 2.5 inches, smaller numbers per inflorescence, and their foliage is only about 8 inches long. Even though there's two different varieties, I guess they're both still classified right now under one species, and that is Brassavola subulifolia. So that's a little bit of information about the plant. Let's see. I got this plant from Andy's Orchids. I've had this plant for 2.5 years, and this is still on the stick that I got it on. This is one of the only plants, actually, one of the only plants. I think I have 3 total that I just have not messed with. 2 of them are Tolumnias, and this. One of the other Brassavolas that I have is a Brassavola regina, and that plant also came from Andy's. I took it off the stick, and it has struggled ever since. So, needless to say, I am terrified to take this thing off the stick. It's got a really great root system. The plant is happy. The stick is solid. It's grown pretty dry. I do water it frequently, but it's misted, so the health of the mount right now is not in question. I'm not too overly concerned, and it has stayed this way, and it's bloomed successfully now twice for me. This is its 2nd year. I will zoom in here so you guys can see the blooms a bit better as I'm talking about it. Neat plant. Again, it's got this heart-shaped lip here, green petals and sepals, a little bit of green in the throat of the plant as well, and the fragrance, like I said, really is out of this world. Easy grower. I feed it whatever I want to feed it. It was on a high feed regimen before. I fed up to 150 or 180 sometimes parts per million, and it did just fine. This year I've cut back to about 80 parts per million for everything across the board, and it's still growing just as strong. It flowered with the same amount of flowers as it did last year. I've got one that has started to fade already. These have been open a couple weeks. I imagine they'll be open probably another week or so. They usually live about 3 weeks to a month in my environment, depending on the temperatures. We've had some unseasonably warm temperatures the last week or so, off and on, and inside the grow tent, when we have that kind of temperature outside, it is somewhat reflected in here as well. So some of the blooms I've had that I expected to last a bit longer have faded a bit faster, and this is one of them. It does like it humid. It's a very, very moist loving plant as far as that's concerned. All of the Brassavola types and most of the Cattleya types for that matter that I grow they really do appreciate nice high humidity. If I ever do remount this thing, it's going to go bare rooted on a piece of cork for sure. They grow better that way for me, and because of, you know, all the clouds, as you see, all the high humidity that I carry in here, they do just fine. The plant itself, let me go ahead and get the camera off the tripod and we can have a closer look at it as I wrap this video out. So we got the camera off the tripod now. This is the whole plant. It does have rather long foliage on it. This is the one that's in bloom. Again, if this is true what they say about two different varieties, I'm definitely going to say I have the bigger one. The blooms themselves are about 3 inches across. Really, really nice. I'll go ahead and zoom in on that a bit. Really, really nice flowers. Again, I'm hoping this plant does better this coming year. I've increased the light level again by adding that big Spider Farmer SF1000, and this sits in a really, really high spot now. I've moved it up yet again. You'll see the roots on it. I mean, this thing is definitely a healthy and happy plant. If you guys like, you know, your orchid root porn, this is a great plant to look at. Most of my Cattleyas are. Anything grown bare rooted, you really get to see, you know, the business. So that is that. This is a, you know, it grows just fine intermediate. I think it would be just as happy a little bit warmer if you decided to grow it that way. I'm sure Todd's is probably full of blooms as proof of that. Oh, the other channels, my gosh, I completely forgot to mention that, I think. The other channels participating in this care collab, it's myself, Todd from Todd's Tropicals, and Yoshi over at Plants and Other Things. So definitely please go check their videos out as well. They both have this plant and they really do make great videos. I'm sure their plants look awesome. So that is that. And again, we'll get a nice close shot of the plant and blooms as we exit out on this video. Now, care collab wise, I grow in a tent in my house. I live in the Washington DC area, but it's a highly controlled environment, so I grow in intermediate conditions. I have really high humidity. It's usually between 80 and 90% in this tent. My temps are anywhere between, this time of year it's getting down towards 60 degrees at night. My daytime highs are about 75, and in the summertime it's about 67 or 68 degrees as a low, and as a high temperature I usually get close to 80, 79 to 80, sometimes 81. Lots and lots of air movement, lots and lots of light. They love it bright, just like most Cattleyas and Brassavolas. They really do. They probably won't bloom if you don't give them enough light, so that is one thing to really, really keep in mind. And yeah, easy growing plants, guys. If you do love Cattleya types and you like these type of blooms and you like to be able to go into your greenhouse at night and smell something different than what's out there during the day, this is a fantastic plant to grow. All the Brassavolas are, and these again are the blooms. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this little care collab video, and yeah, again, go check out Todd and Yoshi's videos on the same plant. Until next time, stay safe, guys, and happy growing.